both sides of the conversation, family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome, everybody, to both sides of the conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Thursday, so you know what that means. We're going to have another phenomenal educational presentation put on for community. We have some phenomenal guests that's going to come on. We have some Gators in the building. As y'all know, both sides of the conversation, we have a great connection with San Francisco State. A lot of phenomenal people over there doing some amazing work for our young people. So we have some more Gators on tonight that's going to educate our community about foster youth and the Guardian Scholarship Program. First, I want to apologize to the community because the information that went out earlier in the week said that tonight's presentation was going to be about DACA and some of the things that's heading on at the border. So I take full responsibility for that. It was a little mix of communication, but tonight they're going to be talking about foster youth and the Guardian Scholarship Program. So we'll be getting started very shortly here. Just want to go through a couple of announcements for community before we start tonight's segment. One, the Biden administration is planning to lift the restrictions on people coming to travel here in America, but they will have to be fully vaccinated. So that is going to be happening real soon. They're trying to get that in place so that people can start traveling back into the U.S. Also, the CDC has extended the federal housing eviction protection order until October 3rd. I know last Sunday the restrictions had ended and people was worried about eviction, but they did go ahead and extend it to October 3rd. We know Congress is out on summer break, so hopefully when they get back, they can start hashing out what needs to be hashed out so that community and people that are suffering right now in this country could get help with staying in their places. As we already know, we have an extreme problem with homelessness and displacements of our families already in this country. So way to go to just continue this, extend this so that we could get some support and help. With that being said, there was a study that went out that they're finding that more and more Black Americans are buying life insurance. To one of the studies that they put out, they surveyed about 3,000 people, and 56% of Black Americans have been purchasing life insurance. You all that know me here at both sides of the conversation, we are huge on advocating and educating our community about getting life insurance, because we all know at some times our loved ones will leave this earth. And too many times we find, especially in the communities that we live in through violence and different things, people are using GoFundMes and different things to pay for funeral services. And we want to change that paradigm. We want to change that narrative and make sure that our people are putting the right protections to protect family and pass that generational wealth on. So just way to go, community, to continue. Open up, make change, think different, and be a little bit smarter about preparing for the future. So that is very huge to hear. Great news, great news. Keep doing the great work. And here at both sides of the conversation, we'll continue to bring those different insurance companies and different agents to come on and better educate the community and try to get more and more people to start protecting their families, as this COVID has taught us the loss of life can happen at any time. And definitely we want to make sure that your loved ones are protected and don't have to get the burden of the burial and things of that nature. So happy to hear that. Also here, the Butte fire is getting out of control. It is still spreading. Community, we are still having one of the driest years. Please be careful out there. I know there's a lot of festivities and festivals going on. Be careful when you're outdoor barbecuing, as sparks and different things could continue to spark off fires right now with our water shortage. They just said Lake Oroville right now is at the lowest percent of water it's seen in about 50 years. So there is definitely a shortage of water. So community, we ask everybody in the community in solidarity, do our part to cut back and conserve water as much as we can, because we are being impacted. And with these fires, there's definitely going to be some impact on us. Also, with that being said, the vaccination pop-ups are happening all over San Francisco. Please check us out. We're going to be putting more information out. There are plenty of places that you could go to get vaccinated, as there has been an uptick in numbers. The hospitals across the Bay Area are seeing an increase of hospitalization of people. I know Napa just joined the rest of the 7 Bay Area counties to mandate the mask requirement. But please, community, if you haven't been vaccinated, you're still on the edge about it, it is time to think about it. This is spreading fast. This Delta is moving around. People are being impacted. So if you haven't been vaccinated, please think about it. Get out there and get vaccinated. There are a number of free sites that you can go to get vaccinated, as we want to go ahead and protect our loved ones in the community until this thing could be removed from our dealings. But it is bad, and I'm seeing some of the numbers. Definitely in all of the hospitals, there has been an increase, and it is serious and is happening. So wanted to put that out to the community. Then this Sunday, we're going to have another Sunday conversation. We're going to be talking with our parents as we start transitioning back to school. So we're going to be talking to the community parents and some of the community parents that's tied in with the San Francisco School District and some of the other districts to talk about what's going on. What do the parents feel of returning our kids back to school? Is it safe? Do they feel comfortable with the spike in this COVID? We'll have that conversation this Sunday. It should be phenomenal. And then on 8/15, we'll be having a conversation about the COVID-19 and vaccination. We still have openings for a couple of panelists. So if you're a doctor or you work with public health, or you one of those people that's doing the research or information, and you would like to be a part of this conversation for August 15th, please sign up on our website. We would love to have you on as a panelist. And then on 8/22, we're going to have a conversation about colorism. We know this is a real conversation that needs to be happening in our community. So we still have openings for panelists. If you want to join this conversation about colorism, please check us out. Go on our website and book for that 8/22 slot. And then lastly, on 8/29, we made a change. The last Sunday of the month was supposed to be a substance abuse conversation, but we pushed that out a little bit because we're going to have a relationship conversation. And it's fitting to have at the end of the month as things are happening. I think it's very important. So we'll be talking about relationships the last Sunday of this month, 8/29. So fellas, if you want to be a part of this conversation, please sign up. We already have a number of women in the community that's already signing up. We need some man support for this conversation. I don't want to be the only one talking for all the brothers. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and jump into tonight's segment. Thank you all for being patient as we get through our community conversations and announcements. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and start turning this thing over to our Gators to come on here and bless us with this information. And I hope community, you take this in. This is some phenomenal opportunities for our young people. So with that being said, I'm going to bring up Xochitl Sanchez, and she's going to go ahead and introduce herself and the rest of the guests tonight. How you doing, Queen?
I am doing great. We just feel so happy and so blessed to be invited to both sides, and we want to put in our other side and make sure that everybody knows what our city is doing, how we are supporting students who are current and former foster youth who come from our communities or outside of our communities, to make sure that when they come to San Francisco State, that we're able to support them in many ways. So, on that, on what you said, we hope that you and your loved ones are doing well. And I am the Guardian Scholars Program Director, and I started the program. Goodness gracious, we are celebrating our 16th year anniversary this fall. So we began the program to make sure that we have, that our students have the support that they need within our community, and to make sure that we give them all the love and we give them all of the support. We'll talk more with our presentation about exactly how we do that, but you know, it's a community effort, and we support all students with the history of foster care. We don't have an age limit, and we really don't turn anyone away unless you're not foster care and been placed in out of home placement or in the foster care system. And we're happy to be here to share what that looks like, and how we use our community collaboratives, and how we use our collaboratives within the university to make sure that we bring all the experts together, and we bring this big university, which has touched so much of our lives. We all are Gators. This is our city, and being a part of that, and you bringing us all in, is really special. So thank you for the invitation. We also have two other people who are amazing advocates. One of our staff members will tell you more about what she does, Tiffany. And then we also have one of our students that is a recent graduate, and she's doing amazing work within our community. So she'll be able to give you a little bit of spice on what it looked like to be a Guardian Scholar on campus. And let's take it away. We're ready for questions. We are happy to collaborate. Our information is up in that private chat. And, they keep saying we're the city's university, because we are. And that is one thing that we want to be able to share with everybody, to make sure that even if you're not a part of San Francisco like we are, you got born and raised right here in front of you, then we bring in everybody. So that's the point. Everybody deserves this education, and everybody's path is different. They have a special thread like they do with all of our students in foster care, then come on in. We're ready for you, and we welcome you, and we'll help you with that process. So I'm going to go ahead and popcorn it over to Ms. Tiffany Lamb, San Francisco native.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tiffany, and I'm one of the case managers with the Guardian Scholars Program at SF State. Like Xochitl said, we are just so happy to be here and just share about the work that we do, and just the amazing students that are a part of our program. As a case manager, I am one of the staff people on campus that is supporting all of our students in contact with San Francisco State as a whole, housing, financial aid. So we are kind of that point person on campus that bridges students and the rest of the university together. So I'll definitely talk more about what we do and our roles, what our program offers, and we're just happy to be here. And so I'm also excited to also introduce Zame, who is one of our students and alumni, and she's so amazing, and we love Zame. And so I'll let Zame tell a little bit about herself too.
Hello, my name is Zame, also known as Lazy. I'm a former Guardian Scholars program. Well, I'm a former SFS alumni, but I'm also part of the Guardian Scholars program. Currently, I intern at KQED as a marketing live events intern. Recently, I just had an event that talked about foster youth resilience and mental health throughout the pandemic, and we got to talk about our mental health and solutions that can help with foster youth in order to get help and throughout the pandemic. That's really me. That's all about me. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
And by the way, we call her Zamazing because she's amazing.
All right. So at this point, we could go ahead and pull up your PowerPoint presentation and you guys could take over.
Awesome. So like we said, we are the Guardian Scholars Program, and we are housed in SF State, San Francisco State University. And we're proud of that. So proud of, our university and our program. And so I'm going to go into who we are, what we do, and then, feel free to interact in the chat as well. We're happy to answer any questions you may have. So first, I'm going to introduce on the next slide our staff. So it's not just us. There is a team of us that runs the whole program and makes sure everything kind of goes together. And so Xoch is our program director, as well as Sonia, who is a professor in the School of Social Work at San Francisco State. And she's also the co-founder and does a lot of the research for our program. We also have a program coordinator, Melanie, who really runs the logistics and the programmatic parts of, our day-to-day. And then we have also our another case manager, Ella, who's amazing. And so we all carry a caseload and we all work with students, and this is the team. We work really well together and really closely together. And so these are the people behind the scenes of the program. And so on the next slide, just to kind of set the tone a little bit, right now, SF State, or in the past, the past year and a half, we've gone virtual. So everything when it comes to getting to know the university, we've kind of gone online like most people have and have adapted to introducing the school, and we want to bring the school to you. And just a little piece of that is just like getting to know the campus and campus life. It's so important to even, what's the vibe of the school? What does it feel like? What does it feel like to live on campus? And so just a little piece is that, we are a college campus that wants students to live on campus, to feel the campus atmosphere, and just kind of get to know everything. So if you are interested in coming to SF State or becoming a Gator, please check out the SF State website. They have virtual tours going on right now, and you can literally walk through the campus from wherever you're at. And so that's just a little piece about the campus. And so I'm going to, on the next slide, go to our program. And so Guardian Scholars, our program is housed within EOP, which is the Educational Opportunity Program at San Francisco State. And for 50 years, we just celebrated 50 years. We have served historically low-income, first-generation college students, and just provided support, academic support, financial support, leadership opportunities for these students. And so we have Guardian Scholars is a program within EOP. And so all of our Guardian Scholars students are also an EOP student and are able to access EOP services. And so on the next slide, what do those services include, right? Like, what does it mean to be an EOP student? We know that, being a first generation college student is a different experience, being the first in your family to attend college, to graduate from college. There's so many questions, and, there's so many things on like, how do I figure out my financial aid package? How do I get connected with a tutor on campus? How do I know what classes to take? And we understand that that's all part of the process. And, we're not supposed to know these things right off the bat. And so that's what EOP provides, is kind of this space where students can come receive that support, where there's no questions asked. Like we understand and we get it, and we want to help you get to that end goal. And so some of the services we provide are like advising. So definitely telling you what classes to take, how do you get to your graduation, tutoring services for sure. And this is also really cool because EOP is a smaller program. It's not like, the big campus tutoring. So you get more like one-on-one, I would say, attention with the tutors. A whole variety of workshops on money management, study skills, how do we even know how to study? And that was like a big question I think a lot of students were trying to figure out even their first few years. And then the mentorship program. I think one of the biggest pieces is, as a first generation college student, like I want to be able to relate to maybe somebody, or have a professor that has the same experience, or have an upperclassman who's been through it, knows some of the challenges, and knows what are some tips that would help me get to my end goal. Because navigating this isn't easy, especially college and higher ed, but our students are so determined and motivated to get to their goal. And so these are the services that we offer. And then the next slide, in terms of EOP, is that support financially. All EOP students receive a grant for $600 a year, and no questions asked. As long as you're an EOP student, you receive that financial support. And one of the really cool programs on the next slide about EOP is Summer Bridge. And so Summer Bridge is super, super special. It's this 4-day program where students are, when, pre-COVID times, were able to come live on campus for a few days in the summer and really experience what it's like to live at SF State and get to know people at SF State before you come on campus on your first day. So at least for me, I feel like, oh gosh, that feels so much more relieving, maybe meeting one person before you start your first class. And it's really like a lot of bonding and trying to find people that you connect with. And so it's a really special and unique program that EOP offers for first-time freshmen and transfer students. Everything has gone virtual since COVID, and I must say the Summer Bridge team has done phenomenal at just making everything fun online and that whole experience fun. And so if you're able to participate in that, definitely I would do it for sure. Now EOP, that was the big umbrella. Now I'm going to give it to Xoch to talk about, the Guardian Scholars Program, who we are proud to be, and how did we come to be as a program at SF State. I think you might be muted, Xoch.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Tiff. That was awesome. I think that it gave a picture of where we stand. So we're a strong community, and within the Educational Opportunity Program for first generation college students, we started Guardian Scholars. And that, with all the services that EOP was able to provide, and by the way, the Educational Opportunity Program is in every community college. Maybe it's called EOPS there. We're in every UC. Perhaps that's called EAOP. Within the CSU, the California State University system, we are the EOP program. And we've been around for over 50 years. So we have been the ticket in. I come from an EOP family. I'm number 11 in my family. My siblings were able to attain a college degree and go forward in their career paths because of the fact that we had this support on our campuses. And the great thing is that it still exists. So it just made sense for my co-founder and I to start a program that uses all of the expertise of the Educational Opportunity Program, mentoring, tutoring, all of that advising. And then we wanted to make a space to make sure that we were able to work on the life piece for current and former foster youth. And we have created a dynamic family, and I am just so proud of everyone who has been able to show their light, have it been appreciated, and that will continue to drive themselves to be the leaders that they are. And it's just an amazing feat to be able to see all of our students. We're surpassing even the San Francisco State, the nationwide average. I'm not going to talk about how difficult it is for a foster youth to get into college, but I will tell you that if they come to San Francisco State, we will support them in making sure that those difficulties become not just a challenge that you can't overcome, but an empowering way to learn how to be your better self. And that is something that we really take tremendous pride in. So we serve about 100 students, started out with about 10, and now we have graduation rates that are out of this world. I mean, I can brag all day. I don't know how much time we have, but we are a strong community of alumni, and those alumni are mentors, and who you see in front of you are superstars. That was, I think, when we went to go see Hamilton or something like that. But we do all these fun things. And we have developed a community on campus that is really valued. Our university is pretty, like John says, phenomenal in making sure that they are prioritized, and they are the ones that are making the on-roads on our campus. Next slide. So we always say, once GSP, always GSP, because that's the truth. Everybody sticks together. Everybody is on campus together. We have a great center on campus where you can go in and talk to Tiffany or talk to Nadia or talk to any of our staff, eat your sandwich, you can cry, you can laugh, you can have a power bar. So it's really a community space, and we take a lot of pride in making that happen so that there is a place on campus where we can all join together. Next slide. So some of the services that we have are these fun things that we were talking about, monthly social events, but the clinical case management piece is really unique. We started the program in line with the School of Social Work. So we were the academic piece, being an EOP, an academic support service, and then we brought in social work, just because it's everybody needs someone to talk to and to have resources, especially when you're on campus. And as Tiffany mentioned, no one knows all the answers, and we can make sure that we introduce you to the right people who have those answers. So our case management piece is quite unique. In a full staff, right now we have a couple of staff changes, but we have 3 case managers. And then we're able to make sure that we get to know you and you get to know us. And it's, there's no, everybody comes in because they want to. And we want to make sure that you're on your best journey forward and knowing the resources that you have on campus and also off campus. And that also leads us to our community partnerships with housing. We were the first in the nation to offer free, and we still do, amazing, that our students are not having to pay for summer housing. Because financial aid usually pays for spring and fall, but what happens during the summer? When we started the program, we talked to our campus president. We said, wait a minute, our students don't have a place to go during Thanksgiving, during the holidays. Where are they going during summer? So we negotiated, and so our students have 12-month year-round housing. If they want to live on campus, there is not a day that they need to worry about. And we work with housing, and we work with all of our campus liaisons to make sure that it's seamless for them and they don't have to worry about it. You know, during the pandemic, it was crazy. So many universities, they just said, okay, you all have to go. But after not so much negotiation, more like bringing light to the problems that were happening, we were even able to have our students who were graduating, seniors, stay for the summer until they were housed and making sure that they, you know, that they're home. So there was no kicking out any Guardian Scholar. And that goes for other, you know, international students or whatever. But that was huge. And our year-round housing services are valued by so many offices on our campus. And so even though it's a little bit lonely, we opened up our campuses, and now we're going back. So I went back to work for the first day yesterday in office, and I have seen about 5 students. So come on in, and we're helping also potential people and parents and, you know, grandmas and foster parents and CASA, whoever needs any support in helping their loved one and their student get into San Francisco State. Our information is there, and applications are coming up. It's always done 1 year ahead of time, but that just puts a lot of to-do lists on your list. Another thing is our career services, in that we've been around for quite a while, and our students were graduating. I think, what do they say, 3% of foster youth graduate nationwide from college? Oh no, that's not how we do it. So we're like 75% of our students graduate, and that's been a long-standing thing. And they said, hey, Xochitl, what do you, we need your help. We're graduating, but we want to be able to have career services. So we have a specific, we shifted a little bit, and we have a career services specialist that helps with resumes, and we have job shadow days, and we do internships, we do paid internships, and we really work with all of our students to make sure that they're able to get into wherever not just where they've been in, but where they want to go. And that's a big piece of our program. Another one is our ambassador program. And that's, like John says, phenomenal. So that is our own leadership. And Zame will talk a little bit more about that. Maybe you can do that, Zame, but the ambassador program puts all of the power in the students' hands, and it's our job to support them and to make sure that they're able to be leaders, explore things that they've never explored, and just have just a working leadership relationship. You know, how do you do a meeting? What's a commitment? And all these things have just really flourished into a family environment where, as the other slide said, once you're DFT, you're always GSP. Next slide. Tiff, you want to talk a little bit about this piece, and that's what you do?
Yeah, totally. So we kind of gave a brief summary of, you know, what we do and the services we offer. But I kind of want to talk a little bit more about really what does that mean? And so the biggest piece, I think, of our program is the clinical case management piece. And that means every GSP student, every Guardian Scholar student has a point person on campus. And so they have a case manager that is assigned to them to work with them until they graduate. So it's not just one semester, it's not just 1 year, it's you have a case manager until you leave your time at SF State. And obviously, like we said, all our alumni, they're still part of GSP. So it's kind of like even after you graduate, you are definitely still in contact with us because that's kind of the type of program we are. But with the case managers, it's, like I said, your point person on campus. We meet with students weekly, bi-weekly. Sometimes we have students, come every day. Sometimes we see them like on their good days, sometimes on their bad days. And that's pretty much like what we're asking is like, come as you are. Like, if you don't have to have it all together, and that is fine. We're here to support you and what your goals are. And we come meet and we talk about different things. Maybe like you need help figuring out your classes or financial aid, or, something happened with your friend. Please just come hang out with us. I think that's kind of the environment and atmosphere that we really strive for is we have like a space, like a student lounge, which is really cool and it's so comfortable. But kind of the environment where you don't come to GSP just to get something and you leave. Sometimes we do have like, food and like, backpacks and school supplies, and please take them all. But it's like also come when you just want to hang out. If you want to eat your lunch, if you want to take a nap, if you want to just say hi to somebody in between your classes, this is the place to come to. And I think it's super important for students to have that space, especially in a college campus and in a college setting where community is what we're all about. Yes, you're here for your degree, but we really want to build community, especially as students who have had experiences in foster care. And I think it's so important where you have a space where you don't have to explain everything. You don't have to share anything. You just kind of come and just be and kind of take part in the services that we offer. So that's case management. That's probably the biggest part of our program that we love, and we just love to have fun. On the next slide, going into the fun part, I feel like Zame can probably echo just our monthly events and just how fun they are. We do anything and everything from like bonfires to cooking classes. We go watch the movies. We watch Captain Marvel. We always have like a giant Thanksgiving dinner, which is just like by the end of the night, we're giving away like turkeys and pies because we just have so much food. And so I think that's a really special part about GSP too, is that we're not just like, oh, you come get something signed off, or you come and you just leave. We really want to get to know you and just build community with you. And that's doing the everyday things like learning how to cook a meal prep dinner, or going to the school gym together and having a gym buddy that you can find, or even like a book club. We started a GSP book club, and it's just like, very comfortable, casual things where students can come and just have fun. You don't have to worry about what assignment you have to do. You just come and have fun with another group of people.
Yeah, definitely with the GSP events, it was the most memorable out of like my time at SF State, because as an ambassador, you got to, program events, and then you get to create memories. And I know like for most of my peers, like those memories stick with you. And also it gives you something to look forward to after like a long week of midterms. For me, my favorite events were like crafty days where we got to like get a planner, and then we got to use washi tape, and then we got to like basically, plan our whole month out and decorate our planner together, and just having fellowship, which really, make you feel more community, make you feel with family, make you feel centered. I was a person that definitely came to the office every day. And I just like being in the presence of people that, take care of me and want to support me. So that was just like very important to like my well-being. And I know like other students would come every other day, or maybe like once a week, but it's okay because as nobody judges you. Like if you just need to go and get some materials for class, then you go and get some materials for class, and that's like the environment that um, the program has created where you don't feel judged if you don't want to have to like sit down and talk or you don't want to interact. If you just want to do your work, you have that space to do your work as well. So GSP has definitely made uh, a way for you to feel familial, and for you to feel like connected at all times on campus, which I know that's not everybody experience at SF State. So that's why like I feel like still like GSP students are extremely blessed because not only are we taken care of, but we are grounded and we have holistic, well-rounded support.
Yeah, everybody should see Zamae's planner, by the way. It always looks really, really good. And I feel like every time Zamae's at an event, it's always super fun. So yeah, like Zamea said, we love to just have fun too and have a good time. And so on the next slide, I think Sochi talked a little bit about housing and what GSP has really offered and solidified with SF State. And I think that is a huge thing that's really important to us is establishing really strong connections with our partners on campus. And one of them is housing and making sure that our students have priority housing and an opportunity to have a space to live on campus if they want to. And so one of the big things is that our students receive priority on campus housing, and that is year round, and that during breaks such as like Thanksgiving, winter break, spring break, our students are able to stay on campus. They are able to stay on campus in the dorms if they choose to. They don't have to leave during these breaks, and they're totally welcome to stay. And I think that's a huge part of ensuring that students are able to have a solid college experience is meeting their basic needs, and housing is one of the biggest ones. Also, we were able to partner with housing and guarantee free summer housing. So for the months in the summer, we know that housing is expensive. San Francisco, I think we all know, is getting extremely expensive. And so for the summer months, students are able to stay on campus for free, and that's with an agreement with housing. And so we're really thankful that San Francisco State is just such a collaborative university and that they've been able to work with us and our students and ensure that if our student needs housing, the opportunity is there, and they will be housed. And so I think that's, like I said, the biggest part of meeting their basic needs is understanding like basic needs need to be met in order to be able to attend college. And so I think that's a key part of being at SF State and being a Guardian Scholar.
Definitely with the housing, I like GSP does a great thing where on move-in day they're there to support you. So like that picture is like move-in day, and everybody's helping you move in. When I moved in, it was very emotional because I moved in by myself, and I got like a call from my case manager, and she's like, "Where are you?" And I'm like, "I'm in my dorm. I'm chilling, you know." And she was like, "Well, come downstairs." And I was greeted with open arms and pizza, and I was greeted with all my necessities and stuff that I did not bring with me because I came by myself. So when I got, I got my comforter, the color that I love, and GSP sent us a survey out, but I didn't think nothing of it. And then when I saw like all the things that I wanted and like the color scheme that I wanted, I cried. All my stuff was already folded in my dresser, so I had like hangers, and I took everything on my dresser. I was able to hang my stuff up. I was able to make my bed up, and I didn't feel so out of place while my roommates were moving in because I didn't have the same things that they had because of GSP. So housing was very integral a part of my stay at SF State, and then also with like graduating, I had like a great referral service to like Larkin Street, and since I was able to stay on campus, that transition was very smooth for me. During the pandemic, it was really scary. I cried because I was in my housing placement for 2 years. I didn't have to leave my dormitory, so leaving that was very emotional, and like moving on was really scary because I never lived off campus before. But that's just how like significant housing is, and how like significant it is to like my journey in school.
Definitely. And I think that's definitely something that, like Zame has reiterated, it's necessary and it's such a vital part for students. And so that's something that's really important to us too as a program. I'm going to hand it off to Soch to talk about our career services and just kind of finish off more about what our program has to offer.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jeff. Oh, I love this picture. That's Zame in the green. That's why we call her Zamazing. Would you like to talk a little bit about this in terms of our career services? Zame, I'll introduce it and just say that we have an internship placement program, but we do a lot of things for policy and to make sure that we are a part of the conversation to bring light to foster youth and higher education. And one of the things we do is legislative visits. So we go and we knock and we work with, different advocates for youth that are working within the state and federal government, because this is an issue that needs to be continued to be addressed. But the professional development is real, and it is pretty amazing. So it's amazing. Would you like to kind of share about your experience when we went to the state capitol?
Yeah, definitely. So we got to work with the California Youth Coalition, and we were able to basically advocate for foster youth and unhoused youth with like higher education, and making sure that money being allocated to appropriate services within the state of California. So this was not my first time going to a conference like this. We worked with the California Youth Commission about 3 or 4 times. I've been to the Blueprint conferences. I've been to a lot of conferences basically that support former and current foster youth, like John Burton advocates. So basically, we got to meet with other youth organizers and providers, and then we got to go to actual senators, like fellows, and we got to talk to them and basically tell them why it's important to fund and these programs and initiatives in order for us to thrive and in these spaces. So my fellow Guardian Scholar ambassadors, we got to like basically do like a round table of like our own experiences, talk about the bill and why the senator should vote on it. And those type of career building things made me confident as a speaker. I was able to present at a conference, and that made me feel empowered to speak on things that I know, because I know my lived experience is expertise. So that made me feel like I can, continue to do this kind of work. So now that I'm like at KQED as an intern, I did my first virtual event, and I was able to talk about mental health services and also give people a platform to talk about solutions and talk to providers. So definitely just like all the things that I did in school with Guardian Scholars helped me with my internship that I'm in now. And I take those skills and everything that I've like learned, and I apply it to my job that I have now. So career service has definitely been very integral and just imperative really to like building yourself up and building your resume. Not everybody gets to go to the Capitol and like go into senator's office and meet Scott Wiener and do these things. And that's like something that will always stay with you, and you'll continue to like use it later on. So I think for the most part, like the Guardian Scholars program at SF State has built rapport with all these other coalitions across the state that we're able to enter spaces such as these and actually be advocates on behalf of our peers.
Thank you, Zame. You knocked it. Yep. So next slide. So that's what we're talking about. Student-centered, student-led, programming, outreach. The number one thing is listening to everybody. Feeling what are the needs, how can we make it work? Let's step out of the box. Let's find our friends to make it happen in the campus, outside the campus, in the Capitol, at Washington, D.C., making sure that we build those connections so that we, they, and us are heard, understood, and listened to. And it's students like Zame that are making it happen. So the advocacy piece and the self-empowerment and just making sure that we stand behind all of our communities together, and those are vast. That's what keeps us rolling. Next slide. So being in foster care, oh, that's at the Giants game. Oh yeah, where is that jacket? Where is it? I need that. We're winning again. Anyway, having a history of foster care, having a word of the court letter, applying, introducing yourself to us, having your advocate work with you, having them contact us. You know, it takes about a year to get into school for the next year. So we're almost in October, and that's going to get you into school for the following August 2022. So it takes time of planning, but any students out there would know that you work so hard and that you are on a path towards your greatness. You know, God willing, everything will happen. And so just to know that you have support from really caring people, not just from our office, but we have really good colleagues and friends on our university that are willing to go over and beyond for you. And for anybody who are supporters, this is where we are, and it start now. Even if you're a high school student or middle school, you know, plant that seed and let it grow, because all of these students are doing amazing things. Law school, med school, I can't even, I don't have enough time. But if you go onto the website, then you'll be able to see how it is. You can be a part of understanding the different services and what we do at Guardian Scholars. So next slide. Couple little details, but you don't need to write that down right now. Next slide. There we go. Thank you. And any questions? Do we have any questions? I haven't, you know, John and Aisha, I'm on like a private chat, so I don't know if there's any questions, but that's us. That's us. And we're happy to represent.
We have a couple of questions that people asked. I think you covered them, but they did ask them. And what an amazing, we gotta say it's amazing. We're just gonna say amazing work that you all are doing over there at SF State. As I said, you know, we've had a lot of Gators come on here. Shout out to Dr. Flowers and a couple of people. They've been blessing our program since we've been running, supporting us, and definitely here in the future, we'll be trying to connect with some of the interns and some of the broadcasting and media students, because we definitely need support from our Gators here at both sides of the conversation as we continue to impact our community intentionally with information and resources. And I think this is very, very important information. We have a lot of young people. I work with a lot of young people that's in the foster care system, and then some of them go through. Are you all connected with the group homes in San Francisco or abroad as well, or just the foster care youth?
Well, I mean, there's, you know, everybody's so different, and everybody has their unique story. So a lot of our students do come from group homes. They come from out of placement. A lot of our San Francisco youth are sent off to Concord or Antioch. there's not enough placements here in San Francisco. And so that's one thing that we see, but we have connections here, and San Francisco does support their students and their young people, their transition age youth, to make sure that they get some services through the Independent Living Skills Program, through First Place for Youth. Zimei talked about Larkin Street. We're really blessed to have it, have a lot of resources. So, we have to work as a team. If we don't work as a community and a team together, we would not be here today. So the answer is yes. Is there a flyer that we can share out to our youth and families? We don't necessarily have a flyer, but we have a great website to answer the question on the chat, just to make sure that if you have anybody specific that you'd like to refer to us, we're here.
Yeah, and I just put up your phone number and the website going across the bottom. So if anybody want to grab that information, it's definitely out there. And then we
also have an Instagram account if y'all are on social media. We have SFSAU _ GSP. So SFSU _ GSP. You can also reach, and it'll take you to the link to like the website. So if every youth is on their phone for the most part. So you might have an Instagram. You can go to the Instagram and check the link there too.
Okay, if you want to put that in the chat, and I'll put it up on the screen so they can see how it's spelled out.
Perfect, thank you.
And then the last question that came in was, are there employment opportunities for youth within your program? But I think you did put up something. So I think, yeah, there was internship and things of that nature. But I mean, I wanted to ask, that is great work. We do a lot of community outreach, and there's a lot of community organizations who deal with the TAY population. I would definitely love to get them connected with you all, because we need that pathway and that pipeline to get access to, to the colleges for the young people. I think that's very important. Now, one question I did have is SF State still holding up with the SAT scoring? Because I know UC California dropped the SATs and all of that. Are you guys following suit at Gatorville, or y'all not there yet?
Oh, no. I didn't ask for it last year, but that was 2020. So now we're going. Like I said, it was my second day in the office yesterday, and everybody comes back. So you apply, we're in August, you apply in October. We all wear our masks, and now the kids are going to have to take their SAT. So there was 1 year that was crazy, and hopefully there will just be 1 year. But right now, there isn't they haven't stopped it. And I'm curious, just like you, John, about how it is they're going to follow with it. Are they going to keep it out? Because I don't like it. I don't think it's necessary. But we don't know. So we'll keep it. John Henry for governor. Yeah, there we go. California. Well, there's an opening in New York if you want to go over there. Just saying.
Man, I love my community. It started off as a little, I was in this community meeting, and they were talking about educating our community about the voting process that's coming up for September 14th for Governor Newsom recall election. And, I was just messing with some people in one of our community leaders. I told them I'm going to run. And it just kind of took off. And then everybody just kind of been, John Henry for governor. So I really appreciate the support of the community. I'm going to have to go ahead and I'm going to have to come back to the Gators and get my political game up so I can play politics with them. I'm not really a good politic person. I'm pretty straightforward, cut chase. They think I'm a little radical, but I mean, I don't know if they want a radical person in office. So,
well, of course we do. Now you got your choice. You got East Coast and West Coast. You got Newsom and Cuomo. Go for it. Where you want to be?
Well, I love it here in California. I love our great weather here in the Bay Area. And even though it costs a lot, it is definitely a great place to be. But, one of the things that you all hit on, and I think is pretty impactful about the housing that she said, because right now, the housing crisis that we're facing across this country, not only alone here in San Francisco. I mean, how are you all able to keep up and have those guaranteed spots for those students when it's the housing is so impacted here in the city? So how are you able to do that? Is it all San Francisco State funded, or are you all part of some of the organizations and different things of that nature?
Well, let me just say that I run a nonprofit at a university campus. So more than 90%, I have to fundraise with my team, with co-founder. We have to raise. We look into foundations, alumni, individual donors, because the state of California and the CSU system does not fund Guardian Scholars. That's on me. And so it's also with understanding that collaboratives and reputation is gold, right? And so our students are the ones that are promoting the best part of San Francisco State. They're the best Gators. Guardian Scholars are the bomb. They're the best. And so when we said, what's happening with the dorms? There's no one in the dorms. I mean, we'll pay electricity, we'll pay the gas, but if our students don't have a place to live, then we need to figure something out. And so this has been going on for over a decade, and it's worked well. And, like I tell the students, with great power comes great responsibility. So you are here on the backs of your other students. So you act right, and you can stay being a part of the community that you have been a part of throughout the year. So it took some tricky navigating, but there's not. I think there's another university in like Washington that does that, but in Cali, San Francisco, we're the ones that are making it happen.
Man, I have to snap on that. Definitely here in San Francisco, we are doing some amazing things to impact this country. They always say it starts to the left and it heads to the right. So we're doing something. But Miss Amazing, I have a question for you. How impactful is the peer-to-peer mentoring? Because a lot of times I heard you talk about how people embraced you when you came on campus and things of that nature. I think that's very important, and I think community needs to hear that, how much of influence of having your peers embrace you and support you, because I'm big on mentorship. And sometimes as we get older in life, we don't have that connect. So how important is it, or was it to you, to have that peer-to-peer interaction?
Well, for me, I was like the one that was reaching out to people. I was the one that was, inviting people to our events. I definitely really invested in outreach. So I was kind of like the first impression for a lot of GSP students when they were coming. They're like, I remember you because you were just so like colorful and bright and loud and just excited to be there. So I feel like making first impressions on people give them the comfort that this is how it's going to be and this is how it's going to stay. And then I continue to reach out to people. I always seek help. I always seek advice. I didn't get my internship without like the GSP staff that were, working, and I'm not even on campus no more. I was like, can you read my cover letter? I reached out to Xochitl and Sonia in order to do the panel. Like, I'm always like reaching out and seeking help. And I feel like as a youth, especially a transitional age youth, you have to be willing to seek help. You can't wait on someone to help you. If like, for me, my motto is, if not me, then who, so I'm always ready and willing to learn, and I'm always willing and ready to help others as well. But for the most part, I feel like just staying well connected really helped me gain momentum in my career on school. Like, I ran for student government. I didn't run with a slate. I ran by myself, and I got the most votes out of everybody that was running. And I was like the first inaugural person to be vice president of social justice and equity for Associated Students, which is the student government that serves our campus community. So just basically being able to have that type of support was not only surprising, but really just humbling, knowing that like I have a village that's supporting me. But yeah, it's definitely something that as a youth you have to be willing to accept. I know for foster youth we're really resilient and we don't seek help, and we don't, because we know that most of the time it's probably not going to be given unless we ask. So usually we just do it ourselves. But that's like the grit that comes with our mentality, and I really admire that about us, and just unhoused youth as well. Like, they're so resourceful. Just being able to gain knowledge from people that have lived experiences that you don't have has been very eye-opening. Right now, like, I sit on the youth advisory board at Larkin Street now too, and learning from my peers that are like unhoused, that are in shelters, and they still come to youth advisory board twice a week. That's inspiring to me, and I hear their stories and I'm like, how can I advocate more? Like, being on the youth advisory board is not enough. Being on I'm on 2 different youth advisory boards, so being on any youth advisory board is not enough. I'm always trying to learn, and I learned that from my peers. But being willing to seek help and being willing to learn is, I think, the foundation. And like I said, if not me, then who? So that's my advice.
Wow, very powerful. A couple parents, I see them in the chat asking question. Brother Hamilton has a son. He's a senior this fall. How can he connect? Can he just call that number and connect with you all, or would you like him to go to the website?
Well, one thing that you can do, Brother Hamilton, that just means that you have a big year ahead of you. You're going to be applying for colleges. So once you apply to CSU, you can apply to, we have 23 of them. You can apply to all over the place. But when you do, if your son has a history of foster care or is first generation, just know that there's a lot of different programs. So whatever you think you qualify for, then look into that. Apply a lot of places. Good luck to you. My son just graduated from Mission High, and he's going to Cal Poly. So I'm excited for that. I that's why I said I know what you're going to go through, and it's an exciting year ahead of you. And just know that there are resources for you and your family and your son wherever he decides to go.
Yeah, that's great information. And then one of the comments came in. This is both sides of the conversation, so we got to have the other side of the conversation. How is the mental health support at there at SF State? And do you guys have group support for that? I think you put something in the slide earlier.
Yeah, no, that's part of our program. We have the clinical case management piece, which just means you have someone that is, he goes to Mission. Oh, we got 2 people. Yeah, no, I got both of my sons went there. So yeah, we're Buena Vista family and Mission and James Lick and all that. But just knowing that we have a connection with San Francisco State and the counseling and psychological services. So everybody needs, as a college student, everybody needs support with mental health. And so there are a lot of services, and they do provide some groups, and so do some of our case managers. They provide certain support groups collaborate with the experts that are already doing them, and we invite our students to participate that way. So each university, each private and public university has a lot of different resources to help you, but every place is different. So knowing your child is the best thing that you can do to find the best place for them to make sure that they get the services that they need.
Wow, definitely. That's very impactful stuff that you all are doing. And definitely we want to make sure that Rico's son is connected. He is a phenomenal young man. Very, very articulate, sharp young brother. Always on the honor roll. Always stepping up, going above and beyond. So definitely I want to make sure that he's connected with you all. So his son.
Make sure he gets connected with Mr. Velez. Because Mr. Velez is the one over there. He gets the kids in college. Admission.
No, definitely. So yeah, we're gonna make sure that you all get connected, and if he becomes a Gator, make sure that he gets supported from you all, and he can learn from Miss Zamazing and all of the amazing young people that are doing phenomenal things over there. So we appreciate you all coming on, blessing the community with this information. Just happy to know that San Francisco State is definitely doing some things to help our TAY population, as a lot of funding has changed, a lot of things are happening. Sometimes our young people in the foster care system gets, kind of lost or gets diverted into different ways. So just nice to see you all having that pipeline for them to come through the foster care system and then, getting into the college realm, having housing, having support, being able to have, the type of resources that you all provide. I think is just amazing. And, what a way to do it. That's what Gators is all about. Every time I talk about Gators, they're always like, the Gators are the best.
Go Gators!
Yeah, go Gators. There was a couple of Gators on here. Cynthia, she said she was in the EOP program.
Cynthia. What's up, girl? Love you.
Yeah, her son's coming there this year. So definitely want to make sure that he's connected as he's starting.
He's my son too, by the way.
Okay, all right. Well,
he's my son too. He's my son's one of his best friends.
Yeah,
he was this little.
Oh yeah, no, he's a phenomenal young man, and he has a bright future ahead of him. And we're going to follow him and watch all the amazing things that he's going to be able to do for community and for his family. And I know Cynthia is going to be on keeping us posted as he go through his journey and both sides of the conversation. We're going to be there to support him as well. And we have some other young people that's going to be Gators this year, starting in a couple of weeks. So you all are doing.
You let me know. That's another thing. Use my number. And if you have someone that that's coming, please, I'm on the second floor of the Student Services building. All you got to do is go up to EOP and say, where's that lady with name starts with the X, I think? And then I will gladly greet them and just let them know that they were sent by somebody from our friends on both sides of the conversation.
No problem. We'll do our part. Miss Zamazing, continue to do the great work that you're doing. If you guys ever have any flyers, digital flyers for events, or if you're trying to get some of the young people in the community to see what you all are doing, we would love to help in that effort to do the outreach. So please submit us all of those flyers. We'll get it out to the community, to our community families, and connect them with you all so that they can have another outlet with resources to get connected with you all. So just phenomenal stuff that you all are doing. I mean, this is the stuff. This is why I say phenomenal, because sometimes it just doesn't happen like this. And just to have you all here to bless the community, that's what we're trying to do here, is continue to get the resources and the information out to community. We're trying to be intentional with and strategic about how we do it. There's a lot of growth that we need to do. It's a lot of things that we're going to continue to do to make this platform better. But we appreciate being blessed here by the Gator family. Again, we've had so many Gators come on and bless us and be a part of this. And we're just going to continue to keep supporting you all and your efforts. And we'll continue to connect our community and our community leaders and organizations with our young people out to you all, so that we can get them in the program and get them in that pathway and meet at those intersections. So phenomenal information. If there's anything else, Ms. Amazing or so cool, Xochitl, Miss Sanchez, we just
We're
whatever you want
on,
to say.
come on, Sis, John. We're on your side. We're on your side. So thank you for having us.
No problem. If there's
Yeah, I
anything
definitely
else,
just want to say for upcoming students, make sure you get connected with the diversity and inclusion centers. I was really active with the Black Union Center. I was really active with the Black Student Union. I was really active with African Student Association. Just
Yeah.
I mean, just really immerse yourself in your community and like get connected. I know it's called the Black Union Center is called the Buck. They also have an Instagram page. If you just look up Black Community Center SFSU. But congratulations on all the admissions and welcome freshmen and sophomore to campus. And looking forward to seeing y'all, continue the legacy of SF State, which is always cool to watch people grow and become activists.
wow, powerful stuff. Now I feel comfortable. All of the new freshmen coming in. It's amazing is there. She's going to help y'all get around and show you everything and get you all squared away. Thank you for your efforts and involvement, Ms. Zamea. Thank you, Ms. Sanchez, for what you're doing. We're going to continue to uplift you all. Just great stuff. Just great what a way to support our Black and Brown community. We know that this educational piece is a part of the success that our young people need. So just nice to know we have some good people that's inside doing the work and making sure that our young people get an opportunity that sometimes we don't get. So with that being said, everybody, we're going to go ahead and get ready to close out tonight's educational presentation. If you have been watching or you know somebody out there who would like to put on a presentation like they just did tonight so eloquently, please go to our website, sign up at bothsidesoftheconversation.org or at www.bsotc. We would love to have you come on and do a presentation for community because like I said earlier, we will continue to intentionally get the information to our community, get that important information that sometimes we don't normally get. And we need people like you that have those great professional backgrounds and that insight to come on, do a PowerPoint presentation, educate our community, bring some of that equity so that we can help uplift our community. That's what Educational Thursdays is all about. So if you have a presentation that you would like to present or you think you have some great information that our community needs to know, please go on our website, sign up so that you can come on and bless the community with that information. With that being said, this Sunday, we will have another Sunday conversation with our community. This Sunday, it will be with our parents as we transitioning back to school with some of our K through 12 students. We're going to hear from the parents. What are they feeling? Do they have anxiety? Has the Delta variant impacted their decision of bringing their kids back to school? What about the hybrid models? Are we still going to use them? Are they going away? All of these questions that our parents are going to have, we're going to have some of our educators in the back scene answering some of those questions. So it should be a great conversation this Sunday, 2 to 4 Pacific Standard Time. Please join us. Listen in what the parents are asking. Maybe you have some concerns you might want to watch. Drop some questions or comments in the chat and be involved with this conversation as we get ready to transition our young people in a couple of weeks here back into school. What does that look like? What the virus increased numbers? If they shut down, what does that look like? What if we have to close the school back down? Those are some of the questions that we would like to hear. And we'll have some of our educators. They'll be on the sideline watching and answer a number of those questions as they come in. And then next Tuesday, we will continue running this thing, man. We got to get some more hidden gems on there. We're looking for the Black and Brown businesses out here. Please go on our hidden gem segment, sign up. If you know somebody that has a business, we're going to give you an opportunity to come on our platform for free and promote your business out to community so that our community can patronize your business and help support and uplift you, as well as we will continue to highlight those community leaders like these phenomenal females here that are doing phenomenal things in our community, impact our young people. Those are the people we want on Tuesdays so we can highlight them, thank them, give them their flowers, give them their roses while they're here, because often too many times what happens is people pass away and we hear about all these great things that they did, and sometimes we miss out on it. We want to be able to acknowledge those folks and give them their roses while they're living. That's what the Hidden Gem segment is about. We're still looking for panelists for our other conversation this month. Go to our website. If you want to be a part of it, you can sign up and be a part of those conversations and those segments. Looking forward to all of the work that's going to be coming in here to both sides of the conversation. The reason why we're getting this information out, we have a lot of things coming up with the Dreamkeeper Initiative, a lot of things that's going on with community. So some of these slots are going to start filling up. So if you want to get your information out there, if you're a Black and Brown business, you want to get this free promotion and get community behind you, start signing up now, because in a couple of weeks, things are going to start filling up as we start hosting some of these events for the Dream Keepers, some of the community organizations. They're going to be coming on here, blessing the community, talking to the community about the resources that they're going to be offering. There's a lot of things going on. We are going to be busy, but this weekend, the community announcement for this weekend, this Saturday, we will be out at the City Eats. We'll be there at 10 o'clock. We'll be out in the community feeding those in need. If you would like to volunteer and give back to those in need, please go to thecityeats.org. Sign up, and you can come out this Saturday and come out with both sides of the conversation. The City Eats, Us for Us, a number of organizations to go feed those in need. And then after that, we'll be over at Mo Magic Backpack Giveaway at a Collective Impact at LL Hutch, 1050 McAllister Street in San Francisco from 10 to 2 p.m. We are giving away free backpacks. There'll be music. There'll be fun. There'll be community resources. Please get out there. Come support. Bring your kids out there to come get a free backpack. We love to see our Black and Brown community. So please come out there and pick up some free supplies and different things that they're going to be giving away at that event. Looking forward to seeing you out there. I'll be out there. I'll be moving around. Our Both Sides of the Conversation team will be at the backpack giveaway. I'll be at the homeless feed, moving around. We have skate in the park for Now HP. That'll be going on as well. We have a community cleanup going on with From the Heart. There is a number of community events happening this weekend. We'll be out there. We'll be moving around, navigating event to event. But we hope to see you at the two most important, feeding those in need and picking up those backpacks for the young people in the community. With that being said, I bid you all good evening. We'll see you this Sunday for our next live show. Have a blessed day. Be safe out there and continue to be the change and help somebody else.
Thank you, John.
Bye, everyone.